Some years ago, we were visiting on the telephone with someone when Esther was still doing consultations. So it had been quite a while since the last telephone consultation. But this woman was talking a bit like you. She was discouraged and a little defiant. And so we realized that we were not going to make much headway in trying to turn her around on the issues that she was most troubled with. And so we encouraged her to pick some subjects that she didn't have any momentum going about, even though we were not in those days using the word momentum. She said, like what? We said, like blue glass and butterflies and feathers. Humph. It was just annoying to her that we weren't giving her something concrete that she would use, and that we were talking about something as silly as that. And she left the conversation, and Esther never heard from her again and was not surprised. But now Esther and Jerry are moving into their day, and Jerry had not heard the conversation, and Esther had forgotten about it, because when it's happening, it's different for her than replaying it as you would replay it. And so they went about their day, and they got out of the car. They were in San Diego. They went to La Jolla. They got out of the car, and Esther felt a really strong impulse to go in a shop that Jerry had been in before and didn't want to go in. But Esther said, oh, come on, let's just go in here. Just come with me, just 5 minutes. And they went in and went to the very back of the shop, and there was a wall of blue glass. Now, blue glass was not appealing to Esther or Jerry. They didn't want any blue glass, but it was the most incredible display of blue glass from ceiling to floor in a very large room, all textures and consistency of glass, really remarkable. Esther didn't think anything about it, and Jerry didn't like it at all, and they left. And then they had lunch at George's, and after they finished having lunch, they walked down to the Cove, which is their favorite place on the planet to be, most beautiful place where the land meets the water. It's really a beautiful place. As they were walking across the lawn, a flurry of butterflies surrounded them and was so dense that they had to stop talking to not eat them. And Esther still did not make the association of the impression that we had set, the slight momentum that we'd established an hour or so ago. She still did not make the association. And now the butterflies passed, and now they're on their way out to the rocks where they're going to spend an hour or two. And a little Asian boy came running toward them as if he knew them. He was maybe 4 years old, coming right to them from way across the lawn. He had something in his hand that they couldn't see, and as he got right up, he held it up to Esther, and it was a pigeon's feather that he had found on the ground. And for some reason felt the inspiration, even though he had never met them, being the pure little messenger of the universe that he is, to bring it directly to Esther. And as she took that feather from his hand, she recalled the blue glass and the butterflies and the feather. Mm-hmm. And she noted how quickly the universe could yield through a path of no resistance, evidence of a vibration that had been established and not contradicted. And that really is the key to the understanding here. You can establish hopes and desires and dreams and goals all day long. And if you shoot them in the foot as soon as you launch them with your expectation or your memory of how things have gone before, then you give birth to them and you increase the momentum of your vortex. So the momentum of your vortex gets going faster and faster and faster and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. The only question is, where are you in relationship to that vortex version of you? So today we say to you, pick a disc and practice it, and pick a disc and practice it, and pick a disc and practice it. And before you know it, the contents of your vortex that you have put into motion over lifetimes will empty itself into your experience in full realization and actualization and manifestation, in evidence not of anything other than your vibrational alignment with who you really are. Mm-hmm. You see, that's it. That's all we've got. That's all we've got. We can tell it to you in endless ways, and we can write 20 more books, and probably will, that all essentially say the same thing. We're surprised you're so patient that you keep coming. So a conversation like this, what it does, it causes you to practice higher vibrations. You participate in something like this where we relentlessly insist that you come here with us and here with us and here with us, and another person comes to the chair and starts out here, and we insist that you come here and here and here and here, and another person comes to the chair and we insist that you come here and here and here, and you leave this gathering, and whether you like it or not, maybe we should have put it on the disclaimer that you signed when you came in, your vibration is in a different place when you leave than when you came. Which means your life experience is going to shift relative to that vibrational adjustment. It just is. And hopefully, during the conversation, you're now queued up to some realization of some of that shifting. And that really is the key. When you consciously acknowledge that I felt differently and this happened differently, not this happened differently and then I felt differently. I felt differently and this was the result of my shift in vibration. Then you're off and running, because you can control by selectively sifting, by making lists of positive aspects, by practicing thoughts that feel good, by not trying to stop momentum when it's negative, by just backing away from it, by being in the middle of a conversation with someone and you can see it's not going well and you say, you win, you win. I accept that you are stronger on this subject than I am. I'm going to let you have the trophy for this conversation, and I'll see you later. You just back away. You just back away. You just back away. You stop throwing gasoline on every fire. You don't engage in arguments anymore. You don't try to convince anybody of where you stand. You don't try to explain to anybody what your perspective is. You have I don't give a rat's whatever it is about how you feel about how I feel about anything. I am singularly giving my attention to one thing and one thing only, and that's what disc I choose, what disc I choose, what disc I choose. And it is our promise to you. 30 days of deliberately choosing the disc will rock your world. You're not kidding.
I found out about this workshop about a month ago, and I knew I was going to come, and I knew I was going to be here.
Yeah, well, that's a really good place to start, isn't it? Really good place to start. And you were really a lot of trouble. And we are appreciating... My
wife tells me that too.
We're appreciating every bit of it, because in all of that, launched more rockets of clarity, and you extracted from us the best description of deliberate creation that we've offered so far. Yeah.
Thank you so much.